Good afternoon, amigos, from
Santiago de Querétaro, Mexico. I almost forgot where we're at.
Over the last few days, or really over the last 2 years, we have tried to experience Mexico, and more in particular over the last week, Querétaro, to its fullest, whether it's markets, taco stands, exploring different neighborhoods, museums, and just really trying to learn and immerse ourselves in the culture as much as we can. And I think after we made our market video, it kind of came to our attention, there's a few different comments or feelings, if you will, about how the market is real Mexico. So today we kind of want to talk about what real Mexico means, what it means to you maybe, help us out in the comments, what it means to us, and kind of our experiences with all of that.
Yeah, so I think this stemmed from a couple of different comments about how we can find real Mexican families at markets. And I thought, okay, yes, you're right. But then I thought, what does that even mean? I feel like this is with the understanding that there would be no real Mexicans in supermarkets like Walmart or Soriana, places like that. And then I started to realize, and we sort of talked about this, especially here in Querétaro, how the downtown city is very traditional. It's very old. The buildings are beautiful, and then on the outskirts of town is a lot more modern. They're building malls, high-rise condos, very fancy apartments and things like that. And I think that Mexico is in the very smack dab in the middle between traditional Mexico and things like markets and things like that, and then turning into a modern sort of like the organic market we went to and things like that.
Yeah, I think Mexico is really similar, or Querétaro is really similar to Mexico as a whole, or at least the way I kind of see it, exactly what Hillary said. Mexico has a ton of rich traditions, but then also as the economy grows, as Mexico changes, as it becomes an extremely modern place. I think they're building, like, Mexico has a ton of investment in shopping malls right now. You can see that all over Mexico, especially in Mexico City. And really, when we went to the organic market the other day, which was before the Mercado de la Cruz, I kind of was just thinking, well, this is like, we can find this in Dallas. Like, I felt like this is an interesting market, but to me, I'm not really appreciating it. I'm not having a ton of fun, unfortunately, because it's something like, we would see that in Austin, we would see that in Dallas, and I think I can imagine how many of you feel, Mexicans or gringos, or no matter where you're from, about the same thing when you come to Mexico. You want to experience real Mexico, but
culture, tradition, but I think that means, and that encompasses so many things. I think when we first moved to Vallarta, we went on a food tour, and the tour guide told us that she had never been to a market. She's lived in Mexico her entire life, and she's never been to a Mexican market. And we thought, like, that's crazy. But she is Mexican, and I think there, especially people that are in our generation, whose grandparents maybe grew up in a time where maybe there was no supermarket close, maybe there was no city bus that was available to everyone, so everyone did go to the market. But now, as cities across Mexico grow, I think that there's a sort of like a generational gap, if you will, but I don't really
sometimes generational, sometimes I think a lot of times it does have more to do with income, unfortunately. But and obviously there can be and there is a huge income gap. Here in Mexico, there's a huge disparity between the wealthy and the poor, unfortunately. And I think that's really kind of, it's not an issue, rather, but just part of where Mexico is at.
It's part of Mexico's story.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's all part of, it's a chapter.
I know, like, many of you are extremely proud of areas like Arias, like Santa Fe and Polanco, and some parts here in Querétaro that are just really nice, and we can make videos showing the world that Mexico is modern, and Mexico has malls. Believe it or not, some people think it doesn't have malls.
Right, yeah, I think it's a very interesting, we're put in a very interesting place because half of you would love for us to go check out Anthea Lifestyle Center, and the other half of you would feel as if we betrayed Mexico. Mexicans as a whole are proud. Are proud of the modern places that are starting to grow and thrive in Mexico, while still balancing the tradition, the culture, the history, things like that. I think it's interesting. I would like to get your perspective in the comments. Please let us know what you guys think. Are you proud? Are you a little sad? Or
both. I mean, ultimately, I think, and I am just a dumb gringo, said that before.
When I was growing up, we didn't have them dadgum seatbelts, and we rode in the back of my papa's pickup truck just fine.
But I think Mexico does need, it does need some of this modernity. It does need organic tianguis. It does need all of these.
I think it's the best of both worlds, because look, we can go to an organic, very trendy, very upscale market one day, and the next day go to the mercado that's been here for years. Mercado.
Or go to a church that's been here for
hundreds of years.
Or a pyramid that's been here for thousands of years. So I really do think it does have the best of both worlds. But really, just to kind of close it off, to us, real Mexico is, I mean, it's gonna be kind of no duh, but hey, if we're in Mexico, it's real Mexico. If you were born in Mexico, and even if you don't live in Mexico, if you're born in Mexico, you're a Mexican. Whether you shop at a mall or mercado, and you can choose to embrace whichever part of that
culture, lifestyle. If you love modernity, things like that. I think we were told once we first moved to Vallarta that Vallarta is not real Mexico, and that there are so many tourists there. But let us be the first and second people to tell you, Vallarta is really Mexico. There are real Mexicans there, believe it or not.
There's a lot of real Mexicans, and in a lot of ways, and I think we have the right to say this now, I think Vallarta is sometimes more traditionally Mexican than even a city like Mexico City. It doesn't have the history that Mexico City has, but
it has the cowboys.
It does have those cowboys, and but that's part of Jalisco, no? There's real Mexicans at the supermarket. There's real Mexicans at Antea. There's real Mexicans.
At least we think they're real. Maybe they're just statues. Maybe they're like.
That's a thumbnail. Okay, your nose is moving.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Today I'm going to change it up a little bit. Be sure not only to subscribe, click that little bell, but also comment below. Let us know. I think. More than anything, more than our rant, I feel interested to know what other Mexicans, well, I just screwed myself into Mexican. Hopefully you guys will adopt us. What other Mexicans think about this. I know that we're not the only ones that are caught in the middle, so help us out. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see ya.
Mañana.
Oh, sorry.
That was close.
Ciao.